After you hit subscribe, don't forget to hit the notification bell as well as stay tuned at the end of the video for the question of the day. Let's go! One of the days of FWA 2015, I believe, when we went with, no, not 2015, it was 2014. Yeah, 2014 when we went with Flicks or whatever, and you know, we stayed at the Days Inn that was just a couple of blocks down the way. And it was, you know, a particular thing because it was only like a couple of blocks down, and you know, we just walked to and fro. It was like maybe a 10-minute walk from the hotel to the con. And you know, it was all well and good, nice and close, but there is something that you have to worry about, because now Atlanta, Georgia, like the center city of Atlanta, Georgia, downtown and all that stuff, it is a very beautiful city, a very nice city. There are so many things to do, and like in the con season, you know, you've got all these people floating around and talking and rumping and getting all this stuff going on and stuff, and it's all well and good. And you know, there's things to do, there's amenities and stuff like that, and there's actually a lot to do aside from going to the con. Like, if you're in downtown Atlanta and you're not going to a convention, there is other stuff that you can do to occupy your time while you're in Center City, Atlanta, because there's a little bit of everything for everybody. Now, with that being said, whenever you're going through cities like that, you have to make sure that you keep your eye on the time, because don't let dark sneak up on you, because in cities like that, especially in Atlanta, Georgia, darkness can it can sneak up on you, and once the good old lights go out, like probably around after midnight, once stuff starts to quiet down, those cities can kind of get a little bit weird at night. And I say, like, you know, with people lurking around and stuff like that, you know, it can be kind of unnerving just a little bit, just kind of make you a little bit uneasy. And so, like, one of the days that we were leaving, you know, it was after, I think it was Saturday night, moving into like early Sunday morning or whatever. It's already after midnight or whatever, because we went to the rave. You know, we got some dancing and stuff like that. You know, I'm doing my circle rompings and all that stuff. And then, you know, like, it was like about 1 o'clock in the morning when we actually did leave. And so, you know, we're just walking or whatever. And like, as we're walking, you know, we got our suits and stuff, because, you know, we got our head taken off because it's dark and all that. Still got our feet paws on, still got our tails and stuff on. We're walking with our heads. You know, we're just walking, and of course, having this type of thing is going to attract a lot of attention, especially, you know, in the night scene, you know, in the middle of the city where people aren't quite acquainted with that stuff, because we did exit the con already. And so it was just kind of strange. And, you know, we had a couple of people walk up to us, you know, they're, you know, asking for money and stuff like that. You know, we didn't want to, like, not saying like we didn't want to help these people, but the main stigma behind, you know, handing one person money in the city is that once you, like, give somebody like $1 or something, somebody else will see you do that, and it'll start a chain reaction. And, you know, as that thing starts and progresses, you know, you'll have to either A, give out to all these people, or just give out to some and then not give out to others. And of course, that can rouse violence sometimes between you and that person, or that person and the other person that is in need. So it's best to just kind of, you know, decline the situation and move on. And so we did that, and one of the such people just slowly started trailing behind us. And, you know, I was talking to Flicks and Bab at the time. I'm just like, you know, just keep walking. It's going to be all right. Don't freak out. And of course, Flicks, she's, you know, Southern girl through and through. Like, she's never, you know, been living in like the big cities and stuff all that much. So she was just starting to freak out a little bit. I wouldn't say like starting to have a panic attack, because, you know, it wasn't quite that extensive, but, you know, the heart rate was a little elevated. She was breathing a little harder, and I'm like, you know, just relax. We just have to keep walking. It's going to be all right. He's not going to, you know, do anything. We just have to show him that we have no kind of interest in that, and just to keep on doing what we're doing. Just keep walking, just walking and walking. And we walked a couple of blocks, and then he was just kind of lurking right there behind us. And it was just so weird and so just strange, and it was just a weird situation. And luckily we made it safe and sound. Eventually that guy, he trailed off and went to go do whatever he was going to be doing. Yeah, it was just a really strange situation. That's why I will say, if you're not driving through those towns at that time of night, then you're going to have to walk with a nice group of people. And of course, we all know never walk through the city alone, because there's an old saying that having two people go up missing at the same time is a lot better than having just one person, because if just one person goes missing, then there's not a whole lot of, people that'll react to that. But the more people go missing at, one big time, the more people are going to notice, and the word will get out a lot faster. Not saying that, you're going to go missing. Just in that predicament, a couple of heads together is better than just one lone wolf. So yeah, stay with your pack. Whew, yeah, that's just a little food for thought for that situation, because you might find yourself rooming at a hotel, like whenever you go to a con or something like that, or just being at a hotel in general. You might find yourself having an outing in the center city, and it might be a little late, so there may be some people lurking around. So yeah, you just definitely always be on your toes.